Hello students, in chapter 3 physical layer our topic is switching. Switching is mainly how you will communicate or connect it by using the transmission media resources to the another node. Means which type of connection you are using. Type of connection here does not mean the wired or wireless communication connection and these type of things. Means when so many devices are sharing a common link. Sharing means we have a channel, that channel have division type of thing, frequency division multiplexing done or time division multiplexing done, or having the wires through which our communication is done. A path is set up between the devices. So let's see and how the switching will happen in the network. First of all, we talk about the switching is of mainly three types. One is circuit switch networks, second is packet switch networks, and third is message switched networks. On the basis of these three things, our particular networks will work. Circuit switching is mainly working at the physical layer, and packet switching is also classified into two more parts, that is datagram networks and the virtual circuit networks. Here switching will happen in the four layers of the OSI model or TCP/IP model. Circuit switching will happen at the physical layer. Data link layer we have packet switching, and this packet switching classification virtual circuit approach of the packet switching will work at the data link layer. And at network layer, packet switching datagram approach is working at the network layer. Packet switching is classified into two classes. One is virtual circuit approach, second is datagram approach. Virtual circuit approach is working at the data link layer, and the datagram approach is working at the network layer. And message switching is working at the application layer. Message switching is working at the application layer. Here we will discuss about two main switching techniques. One is circuit switching techniques and second is the packet switching techniques that are in our GATE syllabus. Let's discuss one by one. First of all, circuit switched networks. A circuit switched networks means, first of all, this will take place at the physical layer. And we know our physical layer is totally a hardware layer. There is a no software concept at the physical layer. We are dealing with the hardware devices, networking devices, or hardware components. Data bits is represented into binary form 1 and zeros. So, as the name giving an idea, we need a circuit between the nodes or between the two hosts or between the two source and destination machines. Like this one is our source machine and this one is our destination machine. Circuit switching is saying we need to make a circuit, and this circuit is a physical circuit, or physical path between the source and destination. A physical path between the source and destination means we have a dedicated connection between these two devices. Dedicated connection we already know means this path is only and only used by these two devices. No other device will send data or use this path. Okay, a dedicated path available between these two systems means a dedicated path, a physical path we need to make. So we need to make a circuit, so we need to follow some criteria. First of all, we need to connect this dedicated path or make a path between source and destination where our data will be transferred, and we need to free that path. So after our use, other systems also use that process. So circuit switch network will happen in three phases. Circuit switch network will happen in three phases. First one is setup phase. Setup phase means the connection setup takes place by creating dedicated paths. Here you see this is our computer number 1, this is computer number 2, and this is computer number 3. And these are router R1, router R2, or you can say switches, R3 or R4. And these are the paths. Every router have 4 different links, 4 different wires between them, their connections. Okay, or you can say these are the switches also. You can use any device here, any switch here, data link layer switch, or the network layer router you can also use here. Out of these all four available, 4 different available, we will reserve one of them for this computer number 1 and computer number 3 communication. Here we reserve this particular path, we reserve this particular wire or this particular multiplexing part for the communication between the computer number 1 and the computer number 3, or the machine number 1 and the machine number 3. Here this path is set up before the data transfer or the communication will take place. The communication will take place. So after the connection setup phase, we will transfer our data. Data transfer phase happen between these two end systems. Data transfer phase means we are divided our message into the packets. Divide the message into the packet. Packetization will be done. After packetizations, here we consider a dedicated path, so we not need to add any information related to the path. So no headers are needed. No headers are needed means not any information related to path. Any information related to path. Related to path. Okay. Here if we have 3 particular packets, we will already made this particular path between 1 and 3. So these packets will transmit it only and only through this path, not another path. No any intermediate router or switch will take a decision in which direction we will forward that path on the basis of information. So they already know about the path between these two computers. Okay, as the packet reaches here, first of we see like packet number 1 come here. So packet number come here. This particular switch or router know this packet is coming from this device. I need to forward in only in this direction because dedicated path. Now packet number 1 reaches here. This one also know the path is already dedicated path between this one pass here. Now packet number 1 reaches here. Now this one also know this path is dedicated with this computer. So a path is already defined, no need to take care about any routing decision or any forwarding decision. They just see the packet and forward the packet in the corresponding direction. Okay, so same way packet number 2 will also follow the same path, packet number 3 will also follow the same path. Okay, we not need to add any other information related to path to the particular packet, and same path is followed by all the packets or by the entire data. And here you will see you send first of all packet number 1, packet number 1 will be reached here. Now packet number 2 will reach here, packet number 3 will reach here. Means all the packets are coming one by one, or you can say one after another. First one, then second, then third, then fourth, means one after another. They will also reach in the same order to the destination because they need to follow the same path. They need to follow the same path. So packets or data will arrive in order. Arrive in order means no reordering is required at the destination site. At the destination site, you will receive the packet in the same way as the packets are sent by the sender. Okay, after your data transmission complete, you need to terminate the connection, or you need to tear down the connections. And after our data transmission, we will terminate the connection between these two devices. Because of this tear down phase, this particular resources get free. Resources get free, and another systems also get a chance to use these resources. So we see circuit switching will be happen in 3 phases. One is to make a dedicated path, we need to set up the connection first of all. After set up the connection, data transfer will take place, and then after data transfer, we need to terminate the connection so that the resources reserved by us will get free, and some another end systems who are waiting for the resources also get a chance to use that ones. So important point here is resources get reserved. Resources get reserved. No other systems or computer systems or machine can use this particular dedicated path, and the resources reserved in the path. And after the termination of the connection, these resources will be free and get used by any other particular machines. Now we will see how much is the time taken for the connection setup, for the data transmission or data transfer phase or the tear down case. How much is total delay will be happen in transferring data in the circuit switched networks. Let's see how much time it will take. Setup delay, for example, we want to transfer a message size equal to, for example, m bytes, and the distance between the source and the destination is equal to d meters, or you can say kilometers, anything you can take, and the bandwidth of the channel is, for example, b bits per second. Propagation speed let equal to v meter per second. These are the parameters, basic parameters we need to use. Okay, and the number of switches or routers between the system is n, or you can also say that this, if this you are taking n, this one is you are taking n, so we need to count here the number of routers equal to n, or you can say this one you can take in another way, means number of links between devices is equal to n. You can take this one in any way you want. Okay, so here first of all we need to take the setup delay. Okay, setup delay, here this one take the setup delay. First of all, you need to send a request. We send a request for the connection setup to machine B, and we get a response, or you can say acknowledgement for the connection setup. So this request message is going from machine number A to machine number B, and that machine number B will process that request message and send a response message back to A. So this request message will also take some transmission time to transmit on the link from A, and take some propagation time to reach to the destination B, and at the B the response message will also take some transmission time and also take some propagation time to reach from B to A. So here this one take TT time, here this one take TT time, and then take TP time, here this one take TT time, and they take TP time. So setup delay will take TT plus TP propagation time, then transmission time for the request response message, and then propagation time for the response message. This is for the request message, and these are for the response message. So this one take, and the connection is set up. After that your data transfer will take place. For example, your data is a message, complete message, and you want to transfer that. So this will take some TT transmission time, for transmit the message on the link, and this message will take some propagation time to reach from the source A to the destination B. And when this complete transmission will happen, you need to terminate the connection. So this transmission time will take TT time for, or transmission time for, the complete message plus propagation time to reach from A to B. But if you have devices like this is a switch, 1. This is a switch 2. This is a switch number 2. So this will affect the particular transmission and the propagation. Here the number of link between A and B, switch 1 and switch 1 and switch 2 and switch 2 and destination B. So 3 links are between them. So this one will take different delay. If the links are given with different distance, different bandwidth, different propagation speeds, then you also need to find the propagation delay of every link uniquely, and then need to combine all the propagation delay to find the final propagation delay. Or if the same distance between all the links, same propagation speeds, then you just find the propagation delay of one link and then multiply that one with the number of links. Here this n is the number of links. Okay, this is the propagation time. Same as the transmission delay done, this tear down phase will come into picture. At the B, when the complete data is received, then this one send our request for the tear down connection, and this request message will take some TT time to transmit on the link and some TP time to reach at the link. So this will take transmission time for the transmission and TP propagation time for the message from B to A, from B to A. So this is the total time taken in three different phases, If we count this one as a total delay, then setup time plus data transfer time plus we need some tear down time. So setup time and tear down time will be given to you in question if the question is come with this picture. Otherwise you need to take care about this data transfer time. Setup time plus data transfer time is, if you are using the switch or router, that switch or router not need to take any decision or need to add any delay between them. They just see the packet and forward directly, because we have a dedicated path. So there is no confusion in the transmission. We need to do transmit only at the source host or at the sender machine. But TP is need to take care. If we have different links, then we need to find the propagation delay of each link uniquely and combine that link, and this is the tear down time. This is the total delay taken between the source and destination when we are using the circuit switching network. We will see what are the uses of circuit switch network. Circuit switch network is an old techniques that are used in the telephone network in the past. In the old time we are using telephone system. You see in the era of 2000 2005 we have landline phones. A wire is connecting the landline phone at our home to the pole that is near to our colony or at our home. So that is a circuit switch type of networking system. Efficiency is not so much efficient because this will take so much delay. And the resources are reserved because delay is very high and the resources are reserved during the entire communication. Because at the to make a dedicated connection, we need to reserve the resources in the intermediate links, as well as frequency division type multiplexing or time division type of multiplexing we need to do. Okay, and these resources are not available at the time of use for the other systems. Only after the termination of connection the resources get used by the other system. So this is the main, you can say, the limitation of circuit switch network also, or the disadvantage of the circuit switch network also. Next we are going to discuss about a question on the network. So in a circuit switch network, question is a path is in a digital path. So here it given that the path between the circuit switch network has a data rate of 1 Mbps. Data rate, or you can say the bandwidth or you can say the bandwidth is equal to 1 megabits per second. And the exchange of 1000 bits is required for the setup and tear down phases. Here this one is given, we have the request and response message also. Request and response message also. Okay. So the request and response message, request and the response message size is equal to 1000 bits. 1000 bits. And the distance between the two parties is 5000 kilometer. So distance is equal to 5000 kilometer. You can also convert this one into meters. 5000 into 1000. So this one equal to 5 into 10 ki power 6 meter. And the total delay if 1000 bits of data is exchanged. Actual data size or actual message size is equal to 1000 bits. 1000 bits. So, and the propagation speed is 2 into 10 ki power 8 meter. Propagation speed is also given as 2 into 10 ki power 8 meter per second. So, first of all, you need to match all the units. This one is also in meter, we converted this one in meter, this one is bits, and this one is also given in bits, or you can say 10 ki power 6 bits per second. So see, we need some setup time. This one will take some setup time. This one will take some data transfer time as well as some tear down time. We need to find out all these things. Okay. So total delay is setup time plus data transfer time plus tear down time. If you see in the previous session, we need to do 2 times of transmission. Connection time we need to do 2 TT plus 2 TP. Okay. At this way we have no intermediate device. The source and destination are directly connected. Only one time transmission and there is no only TP time. And the tear time down time also takes some TT plus TT time. So if we combine this one all, then this is total 4 TT transmission times plus 4 times propagation is needed. 4 into common, then 4 TT plus TP. Here we will find transmission delay time and the propagation time. 4 into TT is the message size by the bandwidth plus this one is distance upon the propagation speed. So 4 into 5, this one is given as in the form of bits, then this one is 10 ki power 3 bits and 10 ki power 6 bits per second is the bandwidth. Bits per second is the bandwidth. So bits to bits cancel, remaining is 10 ki power 3 and distance is given here is 5 into 10 ki power 6 meter and propagation speed is 2 into 10 ki power 8 meter per second. So meter to meter cancel, 10 ki power 6 to 10 ki power 2 cancel. The remaining is 4 into 1 by 10 ki power 3 second here plus 5 to 2 50 25 by 10 ki power 3 second here. So this one is totally became 4 millisecond plus 100 millisecond. The final answer is equal to 104 millisecond is the total time. 104 is the total time. So how much is the total end-to-end delay? This is 104 millisecond time is taken. This question include all the setup time as well as data transfer time as well as the tear down time. Sometime in question setup time is not given to you as well as tear down time is not given to you. That time you need to take directly the data transfer time. Okay. Next switching method is the packet switch network method. In packet switch network method, our message is divided into small parts, small packets, and the size of the packets may be of the fixed size or maybe of the variable size. This size is mainly depends on the MTU. Accepted by router. accepted by router. This we will discuss in network layer when we are discussing the topic fragmentation and reassembly. What is MTU and why the packet size is a fixed size or maybe the variable size, and why the size of the packet is depend on the router's MTU. Okay, and each packet also carrying a header, and the size of the packet is mainly defined by the network protocol that we already told you, that is based on the MTU of the router. And mainly one more important point is this packet switch network is working on the connection less service method. Connection less service method means you not need to make a physical path between the source and destination. You not need any type of connection setup and then connection termination type of method physically. Means the packet will be released in the network and that packet will travel along the intermediate devices, and intermediate devices will take decision based on the header information in which direction they need to forward the packet, and by passing along the network devices and the links, packet will reach to the destination. Okay, means due to this connectionless service we can say that there is no resource reservation in the packet switch network. Only resources are located when they are required or when they are demanded by the devices. We can have mainly two types of packet switching network methods. One is the datagram and the second is the virtual circuit approach. These two services are also depending on the services. Datagram services is purely a connectionless service. And this virtual circuit approach is a connection oriented service, but this connection is not a physical connection, that is a logical connection. So before going to discuss these two approaches, we will discuss a very important concept related to the packet switching network, and that is store and forward method. Store and forward method is saying, like when you are transmitting a packet from the source computer, this packet will be reached first of all in the intermediate devices, because we said there is a no connection setup between the source and destination. Packet will travel along the devices, travel along the intermediate devices, and that intermediate devices will take a decision on which direction they will forward the packet. Okay, when the packet is reached here, before transmitting the packet, before forwarding the packet entire packet will be arrived at the router, and then processing will be done. Processing done means routing decision will be taken by the router according to its routing table. Means they just not need to take the decision, they just read all the complete details that are given in the header of the packet. Means from where the packet is coming, who is the source of the packet, in which direction we need to forward the packet, means who is the destination of the packet, and the packet having other information like what is the MTU of the packet or the original size of the packet. This packet is a only packet from the message, or some more packets also belonging to the same message. So we the entire packet will be stored in the router, and the encapsulation and discapsulation is done at the router. Decapsulation done at the data link layer. We will see the source physical address and the destination physical address, and at the network layer we will see what is the source logical, or you can say source IP address, and who is the destination of the particular, or you can say the recipient of the particular packet. And according to that we will take a decision and then again transmit this packet. Then again the transmission of packet is done. This will take some transmission time. And then packet will be forwarded and propagate in the corresponding direction. Store and forward technique is saying we just not see some information and just forward the packet. No, we will store the entire packet in the router buffer and then take decision, and according to the decision, packet will be forwarded in the corresponding direction. Okay, this is store and forward technique. Now let's discuss how this technique will be used in the particular datagram approach. Next is datagram approach of the packet switch network. Datagram approach is mainly done at the network layer. You please need to take care about this one. Datagram approach is done at the network layer of the TCP/IP protocol suite. Packet in this approach are referred to as datagram. That's the name suggests, datagram approach. Okay. In datagram approach, the special name is given to the packets. In the chapter number 2, network models, we see at the network layer, the PDU have two names. One is datagram and second is the packet. In the datagram approach, we call that as a datagram. Okay, so at the datagram. And the switches in this datagram networks are routers. The network layer devices are routers. Router have all the three devices: physical layer, data link layer, and the network layer. And this is a connectionless network. Connectionless network means we no need to set up a path between source and destination. Here you see in the diagram, for example, this is A is the sender of the packet message, and this X is the receiver of the message. Here this packet message is divided into these four packets, and these four packets contain all the information, means they have some header information also. Packets also have some header information. That header information contain the IP address of the sender, IP address of the receiver, MAC address of the sender, and MAC address of the receiver. These are some important information are present in the header, and these all are released in the network or through the default gateway to this router, and this router will see the in the network layer the IP address and the source and the IP address of the destination, and according to routing decision, this will forward in the direction. Here you see all the packets are taking some different routes. Packet number 1 take this route, packet number 3 take this route, packet number 4 this route, and packet number 2 is taking this route. Means here the packets are free to move in any direction according to the routing table decision. To which corresponding router the particular router want to forward. Means you can say there is no fixing of paths, no allocation of resources, no reservation of resources, you can say. So path is not fixed. Path is not fixed means your router will take any path which one is or on which path the packet is forwarded by the or datagram is forwarded by the router. Okay, all the paths may take the different routes, all the packets or datagram may take the different routes, you see, and these all are reached here on this router. They reached here. Packet 3 is coming from this direction, packet 1 and packet 4 are from this direction, and packet 2 is coming from this direction. Means all the paths or all the packets may take the different routes, and any of the packet will reach first and any of the packet will reach last. Means there is no reordering of the packets. Means out of order packets may be possible. For example, packet number 4 takes a shortest route and reached first, and then packet number 2 reached packet number, here according to this diagram, 1 reached first, then 4, then 3, and then 2. Packet may be reached to the destination in any order, but before providing the packets in the upper layer of the device, you need to reassemble them or you need to reorder them. Means reordering of the packets is required. Out of order packets may be possible, so we need to reorder them or reassemble them in a order. And packet may be dropped or lost because of the lack of resources. Lack of resources means when any router buffer is full, then the router is not able to accept more packets and router started dropping the packets. So in the datagram approach, packet lost or packet dropping is also possible due to the lack of resources. Here we see two main points. There is no setup path, there is no fixed path. No fixed path. No fixed path means no resource reservation. No resource reservation. Every packet is working as an independent entity. Independent entity. Path is not fixed. Okay. Router paths can take any routes. They can reach to the destination in any order. Okay, and lost is also possible. So these are the some important points. Now when a sender is sending some packets and packets are reached to the destination, how much time or delay we are expecting in the particular datagram approach? Let's see. Here for example, this is your sender and this sender transmit the packet. This is sender and this is router 1, and this is router number 2, and this is destination device. Your sender transmits the packet, this will take transmission time. At sender sender transmit the packet, this will take transmission time tt, plus the packet will be moving in the r1 direction and this will take some transmission propagation delay, so tp, propagation delay time, and the packet is reached to the router 1. At router 1 the packet will wait, means possible some queuing delay time and maybe possible some processing delay time, or you can say this one as a waiting time. Packet reach to the router, this will be in the buffer of the router, take some queuing delay time, waiting time you can say, or some processing time. After that the packet will be again transmitted by the router 1. The packet were again transmitted by the router 1. This will take some transmission time and the packet will be moved in the direction of R2, and this will take some propagation delay time, TP time, and finally the packet will reach at router 2. At router 2 same packet will spend some time in the queue as well as taking some time for the queuing delay as or processing delay. We call this one same as is the waiting time. At router 2 packet will be again transmitted and take some transmission time and packet finally reach to the destination after spending some time in the link, that is propagation delay time. Means you can say that at every entity or every intermediate devices you need to spend some time. That time may be in any form, the transmission time, propagation time, queuing delay time, or the processing delay time. Okay, according to that the final total delay is possible. Total delay means we can say that total delay is delay at sender plus delay at router R1 plus delay at router 2. Okay, so according to that we can say that final tt time plus some tp time, if we will consider this one is equal to 0 and this one is also equal to 0, but this tt and tp are done by every device as well as the sender, so we will take this one as into n plus 1. Here n is used for the number of routers or the intermediate devices and this 1 is used for the sender. 1 is used for the sender. So total delay is equal to n plus 1 into tt plus tp. tt plus tp. Okay, or you can write this n plus 1 is equal to x, and this x is equal to the number of links. The number of links. Then your formula will become x into tt plus tp. If you see, this one is same as it is this first formula. Okay, so total delay means the number of links into tt plus the number of links into tp. This is the total delay possible at the datagram approach, and we can expect questions on the basis of this total delay formula. Next is, what is the efficiency of datagram approach? Mainly our packet switching method is more efficient than the circuit switching method. But the packets may encounter some delay. And this delay is because of store and forward technique. Store and forward technique. Now we will discuss a question based on the datagram approach. Here we have given that we have 5 equal sized datagrams belonging to the same message. Means we have a message, and this message is divided into 5 datagram: D1, D2, D3, D4 and D5, and they all are of equal size. Okay, leave the destination one after another. Okay, however they travel through the different paths as shown in the table. Okay, and the delay before the switch include is here we have given 5 delays. 5 delays means you can say that we have 5 delays. Then you can say that we have 5 switches: switch 1, switch 2, switch 3, switch 4, switch 5. 5 delays, or these are the switch delays. First one is 3, delay is 3. For the second one, the delay is given as 10 and 20, then 7 and then 20, and this all are given in the millisecond. Assuming that the propagation speed is 2 into 10 to the power 8, and we have given the propagation speed that is v is equal to 2 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Okay, next find the order of the datagram arrived at the destination and delay for each, and ignoring the delay in transmission. Means we will not consider here the transmission delay. We will not consider transmission delay. Transmission delay TT is not including here. And here we have given the destination distance also. For the datagram 1, the distance is, datagram 1 is going from the sender and going to the switch number 1, from sender switch number 1, then switch number 3, then switch number 5, and then reach to the destination. And its total distance traveled by this one is 3200 kilometer. We will convert this one into meters. Then this is 32 into 10 to the power 5 meter. And we have given the propagation speed is 2 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Then the propagation delay will be 332 into 10 to the power 5 by 2 into 10 to the power 8. Then we will get the message propagation delay is 16 millisecond, and also have some switch delays. Then total delay is equal to TP plus switch delay of 1, switch delay of switch number 3, and switch delay of switch number 5. 16 millisecond plus 3 millisecond plus 20 millisecond plus 20 millisecond. So this is our total delay that is equal to 59 milliseconds. 59 milliseconds. Okay, for the datagram 1 we get 59 seconds. Same as this we will find for the D2. Same as this we will find for the D2. The total distance is given here, then we will directly find TP. TP is equal to 117 into 10 ki power 3 by 2 into 10 ki power 8. The TP is directly come into the picture is 58.5 millisecond, and the total delay is 58.5 plus delay at switch number 1, delay at switch number 2 plus delay at switch number 5 millisecond, that is 58.5 plus 33, that this one final is equal to 91.5 millisecond. In the same way we will find delay for the D3. Delay 3 delay will total delay will come, you please find out this one with the same method, 114 millisecond. And for the D4 also we will find the D4 total delay is equal to 81 millisecond. And we will find for D5, delay for the D5 is equal to total delay, that is equal to 103.5 millisecond. You please find out this one for the D3, D4 and D5 in the same way we find for the, that is D1 and D2. Now we see we will get the total delay. We get the total delay for D1, D2, D3, D4 and D5. Okay, delay for 1 is 59 millisecond, for D2 is 91.5 millisecond, 114 millisecond, 81 millisecond and 103.5 milliseconds. These all are millisecond. So arrange them in the increasing order of the delay. So first one, who have the less delay? D1 have the less delay. We will, this one reached first, then D4 have the less delay, this will reach second, D2 will reach third, D5 will reach fourth and D3 will reach at last 5. Means first one D1 will reach to the destination, then D4 will reach to the destination, then D2, D5 and at last D3. So this is the order in which the datagrams of the message will reach to the destination. 1, 4, 2, 3, 5. This is the order in which the datagrams are reached to the destination. Datagrams are reached to the destination. So this type of question may be asked from you in the GATE exam or in the NET or ISRO exams. The next approach here is the virtual circuit approach or the virtual circuit network. This one is also the classification of packet switch network. The virtual circuit network is mainly implemented on the data link layer. First point, this one is implemented on the data link layer. And here the name is saying virtual circuit. Circuits means you understand a physical type of path. No, not a real circuit, not a real circuit. This is a logical circuit between the source and destination. We set a logical path between the source and destination. So you can say that this one is working on the connection oriented service. Connection oriented service, because there is a logical path between the source and destination. Between the source and destination, not a physical path. Means we will set some labels in the switches or in some methods in the routers. If a packet is coming from this destination, you just need to see the label and forward that packet into the corresponding destination direction. A virtual circuit is main between the circuit switching and the datagram switching. Means you can say that our most efficient, our first is the circuit switching network, circuit switch network, and then we can say that we have lies in between this one is lies the virtual circuit approach, and the most efficient is packet switch approach, or the here you can say the datagram approach. Okay, so it has some characteristics of both. Means take the connection oriented method from the circuit switching methods, and the paths type of working, or the packet division of message into packets, packetization process from the datagram approach, and combine both of them and make a new approach. Here, if connection oriented method is done, we need to set up a path. There is a setup phase as well as data transfer phase as well as a tear down phase. If connection oriented method will come into picture, we need to follow all the approaches: connection setup, data transfer, and then our tear down phase. We need to go through all the three phases. But here one thing is, packetization method is taken from the datagram approach, means we also have header on the packet, and that header contains the information. When the packet is reached to the particular router or switch, this one will see the header of the packet and forward the packet in the corresponding destination direction. Means router will take any entry, or the if the switch is there at data link layer, we have switches. The switch will make our table in and or maintain the labels. If a packet coming from this particular source, I will see the header and just forward that packet in the corresponding direction. Okay, so data are packetized and each packet carries an address in the header, and all the packet follow the same path. In circuit switching network also we have connection oriented method, all the packets follow the same path. Here also we have connection oriented method, a path between source and destination, then all the packets follow the same path stabilized during the connection, and all the packets arrive in order method, because first packet is released by the destination will reach first, a source will reach destination first, then second packet will reach destination, then third packet will reach destination, because they follow a same path. Only the first packet contain the header, all the corresponding packets follow the same path behind the packet number 1. So this will also take some delay. We will discuss the delay. How much total delay we are expecting? The same here. Here this is the sender. This one is, you can say, the switch number 1, and this is the switch number 2, and this is the corresponding receiver. How much delay we are expecting? First of all, we need to set up a connection. Connection setup will take some time. So TT time for the request, TP time to reach the request, TT time for the response, and TP time to reach the response from destination to the source. Then TT time for the packet transfer. Here this will reach with some TP time. Then TT time will taken by the switch 1, and this TP time and this TT time will taken by the switch 2, and then TP time. Switch or router, you can say anything here. Switch or router also used here. Routers are also used here. So finally reached, and then a connection termination step. Connection tear down phase will work. Connection tear down phase, and this is the total. This is the data transfer phase. This is the data transfer phase. Okay. During the data transfer phase, our packets will travel along the so many devices. So you can say that it takes some connection setup time, means we have some connection setup delay. Okay, take some connection setup delay. Connection setup delay, we will call this one as ST. And then data transfer phase, and then data transfer phase time. At data transfer phase, if we have n hops or n links, then we directly say x into TT plus TP, that we find in the datagram approach, data transfer phase, datagram approach. Same method is working in the here also. So x here is the number of links, okay, or you can say x is equal to n plus 1, and here is the number of routers or switches between, and this one is for the sender, and this one is used for the sender, because sender is also an entity who is doing the transmission and propagation delay. and routers between the source and destination are also entity who is also doing the transmission and propagation activity. So total we will count this one in the form of links. How many links? Okay. Then it will some tear down time, tear down time, tear down time, that is we are representing here with TD. Then we can say the total delay between, total delay is the setup delay plus data transfer delay, data transfer delay and the tear down delay. This one are same. Then we, if we calculate only here the data transfer delay, then how much is the data transfer delay? This one is equal to setup delay plus x into tt plus tp plus tear down delay. Okay, this is the total delay taken by any packet to reach the destination, or total delay will happening when we are transferring data from source to destination using virtual circuit approach, using virtual circuit approach. So this is all about the switching. First we discussed here the circuit switching method, then packet switching method. In packet switching method we have two approaches, datagram approach and the virtual circuit approach. Let's see some question on the basis of these approaches. Here the question is given as, in a packet switching network, the message size is 48 bytes and each packet contains a header of 3 bytes. Here the message size is given as 48 byte, message size equal to 48 bytes, and the header size of a packet is given is equal to 3 bytes, 3 bytes, and approach is packet switching approach. Packet switching approach means either we are using datagram approach or either we are using virtual circuit approach. If 24 packets are required to transmit the complete message, then what is the optimal packet size? If 24 packets means our message is divided into 24 packets, message is divided into 24 packets, into 24 packets, then each packet size, then each packet size is equal to how much byte? 20, total size is 48 bytes, 48 by 2, that is equal to 24, that is equal to 2 bytes. 2 bytes means total 48 byte is the size of the message, and we divide this one into 24 packets, then size of each packet is 2 bytes, and each packet also contain the information. Then total packet size, total packet size is equal to the payload size plus header size, and we have already given the header size is equal to 3 bytes, then the total packet size is equal to 5 bytes, then the total packet size is equal to 5 bytes. Then according to this one our correct answer is 5 bytes, correct answer is equal to D. So this type of question are expecting in the GATE exam and already asked in previous year exams, and this type of question are very common in ISRO and NILET and NET exams. So so do more and more practice of this type of question on the basis of packet switch approaches or packet switch networking. Next question. Here the question is given as, this is one of the previous year NET question, previous year NET exam question. Here we have given that 3 broad categories. We need to take the statement which one is true. 3 broad categories of network: circuit switch network, packet switch network and message switch network. Yes, this one is true. In switching we have 3 categories. One is packet switching, virtual circuit switching and the message switching. Packet switching is also classified into 2 types. One is datagram approach and second is the virtual circuit approach. B is the circuit switch network resources need to be reserved, not need to be reserved during the setup phase. Yes, but in circuit switching network we have what type of things? We have connection oriented method, and for connection oriented method we need to set up the path between the source and destination, and we will reserve the resources. Resources are reserved in the circuit switch network. So this one is false statement. So this one is a false statement. Third one, in packet switching network, no resource allocation for packets. Yes, no resource allocation of packet because packet switching are working with the connectionless services. Connectionless services. Only packet resources are reserved when they are demanded. Like in virtual circuit approach, when we demand a connection, we will reserve the resources. So this one is also true. So statement number 1 and statement number 3, or you can say statement number A and C are correct. So according to this one, our option number C is correct. So we say correct answer is C. Correct answer is C. So these type of question are common in the exams. So please go through the switching technique in a very good manner and try to solve more and more questions possible in the switching technique method.